Mr. Hegseth, you are the 9th nominee for Secretary of Defense that I've had the honor to consider as a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. I have voted in favor of all your predecessors, including those in the first Trump administration. Unfortunately, you lack the character and composure and competence to hold the position of Secretary of Defense. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think he's gonna get a "you're welcome" off of that, understandably so. But that is Senator Jack Reed, and I think that clip really, I think it just gets across sort of the tone of the Democrats during this Pete Hegseth nomination hearing. And so Donald Trump wants Pete Hegseth to be the Secretary of Defense, which I've gone, many years of my life thinking is an important role that demands like a really good manager with a lot of experience. We're finding out now that no, that's actually not the case. You can just put some blowhard from Fox News that you liked the way he barked at you during the morning for a few years, and that's enough. And it doesn't matter that he lacks experience. It doesn't matter that he seems to hold some sort of petty, strange grievance against so many different groups of people who are willing to give their lives in service to our country, hates them, doesn't think they should be able to serve. Doesn't matter that he has all of these massive failings throughout his life, seemingly no ethical system, no, I'll go into it more in a little bit. All that's fine. And he's a loyalist, and he seems like he'd okay, potentially gunning down protesters and invading Iran, and that's apparently all that it takes. And look, every Republican so far that I've seen seems to be on board. It's only the Democrats that are questioning this, but we're going to, at the very least, give a little bit more air to the questioning the Democrats are doing. And so I want to start off with a bit more from Senator Reed.
We must acknowledge the concerning public reports against you. A variety of sources, including your own writings, implicate you with disregarding the laws of war, financial mismanagement, racist and sexist remarks about men and women in uniform, alcohol abuse, sexual assault, sexual harassment, and other troubling issues. I have reviewed many of these allegations and find them extremely alarming. Indeed, the totality of your own writings and alleged conduct would disqualify any service member from holding any leadership position in the military, much less being confirmed as the Secretary of Defense.
So look, Senator Reed he's not one of this new class of Democrats. It's gonna be like, super snippy and everything. That's about as hard as he's going to go. But I like it. I appreciate it. It's the best I've ever seen out of Senator Reed. I would go much farther, which is probably why I would never be elected as a senator. I would sit there and I would say Pete Hegseth is just garbage. He is just a garbage human being. He's not every type of garbage. There's a flavor to it. He is Christian fascist garbage. And I'm not saying that just my interpretations of what he's said on Fox and Friends over the years. That is the brand that he has built for himself in the books that he's written. He's made it clear that he believes America and America's military is for a certain sort of person, a certain sort of white Christian straight male person. And some other groups might be allowed to stick around inside of our country as long as they shut the hell up about it, never demand their rights, those sorts of things. You'd be fine with that. And then that's about it. That's who America is for. He's been very clear about that. And in a lot of what we're gonna talk about through the rest of this block, I'm gonna be talking about the allegations against him and those sorts of things. But I also want you to bear in mind, we've done a lot of critical coverage of Pete Hegseth over, I guess, the years, but especially since he was named as the nominee for this position. And some of what he promised to do in his books, the stuff he's been advocating for literally years, is really dark. He, like more than anyone else that I've seen on Fox News, really wants America to invade Iran. He also, by the way, I would say levels above other commentators on Fox, has been a massive apologist for those who've committed war crimes. He has been a personal advocate for individuals who've just brutally murdered prisoners. Just there's a prisoner there, you go up, you knife them, they die. He goes to bat for those people. And so does anyone think that there's going to be respect given to international rules of law and conduct in war if he becomes the Secretary of Defense? Does anyone think that? You'd be mad too. And beyond that, my concern doesn't just end with what he would do abroad. What he'd be willing to see done here. He talked about allowing foreign nations, including possibly Israel, to themselves bring soldiers over the United States to help put down riots and things like that. A massive, I mean, the concept of sovereignty is just completely out the door at that point, but that's something that he has advocated for. Again, because there are groups that do not deserve protection, consideration, the normal sorts of rights that you'd expect to be given under our Constitution. And if they have to be put down brutally, violently by our military, and we'll get into more of that, that's perfectly fine. But also he believes that the IDF or whatever is a big ally of ours, so they can also potentially brutalize or murder our protesters. These are the things he has advocated for. He wrote it down in a book. It went through multiple phases of editing, and he said, this is what I want my brand to be. And so I'm just, if somebody, they say often, if somebody tells you who they are, you should listen. That's who he has been telling us he will be. And so I have massive concerns about that. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.